Hello. Thank you for tuning in to this 2025 general election candidate forum for the Port of Olympia Position 2 and 3. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media and the NAACP of Thurston County. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or political parties at any level of government, but always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I am Tawny Crawford with the League, and I will be moderating this forum. Monica Miller is our timer. The Port of Olympia is a Washington State special purpose municipal corporation serving all of Thurston County. The port owns and operates 4 distinct business lines, including Swantown Marina and boatyards, Seaport, Olympia Regional Airport, and a real estate portfolio. The port is well balanced and committed to fostering economic growth of the South Puget Sound region while serving the needs of the global clientele. There are 4 candidates participating in this forum: Jerry Toompas, Bob Iyall for District 2, Anthony Hemstad, and Krag Unsoeld for District 3. We stress the importance of civility in our forums. Candidates have received the ground rules for the forum and have agreed to abide by them. Candidates, will you verify that agreement?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Beginning with Bob, the first question is, why are you running for the Port of Olympia?
Oh, well, first, thank you to the League of Women Voters, and you do this every year, and it's such a great service to our community and to inform the voters, and just thank you for doing this every year. I am Bob Iyall, and I am mostly a lifelong resident of Thurston County. I am a current port commissioner, and I'm also a tribal elder at the Nisqually Indian tribe. And I believe good government is built on relationships and results. During my first term, we hired a new executive director. We negotiated a fair contract with the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, Local 47B, and we expanded the commission to 5 seats for broader representation throughout the county. So I am here to let you know I want to continue that work into another term, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry?
All right, my name is Jerry Toompas, and I'm running for Port Commissioner in District 2. I'm running because I was asked to by concerned community members. So I'll just go into myself first. I'm a special education teacher. I care deeply about my community. I'm a lifelong resident of Iyall and Thurston County, and I believe I am experienced and ready to do this. I have an MBA in project management. I have experience as a small business owner, and most of all, I'm just a resident of Thurston County, regular struggling family, ready to make a difference. And I believe that there's not enough representation for certain members of the population, including the rural voters, including those who do not have the resources that others do. And I just want to make sure that the port is representative of everyone because we all pay port taxes and we all deserve to see its benefits.
Thank you. Anthony?
Yeah, thank you, Tawny. Growing up here in Olympia, I was involved in Boy Scouts and actually became an Eagle Scout. One of the central tenets of scouting is that you leave a place better than it was when you found it. And that's why I'm running for Port Commissioner. Because in those intervening years between Scouts and now, I've done a lot of things that can benefit the port. I've worked in public policy at the local, state, national, and international levels. That includes being a city manager, and was also a hospital commissioner for the largest hospital district in the state. So I've run much larger governments than the Port of Olympia. I've also worked in economic development and international trade. Was head of the World Trade Center Association offices in Tacoma and San Francisco, and there I helped to bring in about $500 million in foreign investment that helped create thousands of family wage jobs. Currently, I head up the Economic Development Committee for the Citizens Advisory Commission, so I have skills that can help the port today.
Thank you. Krag?
My name is Krag, Unsoeld, and I come from a background of intergovernmental coordination and finance. And so I worked for a long time with Puget Sound Water Quality Action Team, where I worked with tribal and local governments to obtain federal and state agency technical and financial assistance. I'm also a problem solver. I believe that what I am going to bring to the port is three things. First of all, wise and careful management of our resources. That includes both economic and environmental resources. The port hasn't been doing that in the past. I will change that. Secondly, science-based decision-making. We have to do the science before we do the engineering. We don't do the engineering and then you cherry-pick science. Finally, transparency and accountability. I want to make sure that everybody understands what the port is doing and agrees with it.
Thank you. Beginning with Jerry, the next question is, what are the top priorities you would address if elected?
All right, so the first thing that I really care about and I really want to explore is our budget and our finances. And I think that just looking at some of the recent board meetings and board retreats, that the commissioners and the port staff don't have an accurate or very well understood idea of where the economic benefits go, whether it goes to rural, whether it goes specifically to areas near the waterfront, which lines of business are being profitable, which are not. It's a very complex system where, you know, we're paying for long-term investments for some of these businesses, and we can't really see. Port staff and commissioners aren't ever given a specific idea of or honest representation of some of the lines of business. We talk about, you know, is the marina profitable? Is the airport profitable? And there's all kinds of different accounting terms, but ultimately I want to see financial accountability.
Oh, yeah. My top three priorities here at the port would be, first off, good environmental stewardship of the port resources, including cleaning up Butt Inlet and remediating lands that need to be remediated on the peninsula and the area around the airport. Also, ensuring that the port is the economic engine that ports are supposed to be. Again, trying to attract family wage jobs and help diversify the Thurston County economy. And then also make sure that we are being good management and good stewards of this government. And that's really the job of commissioners is to oversee how the organization is being run. And again, I have done that. I have run much bigger governments than the Port of Olympia, and so I can help provide that oversight.
Thank you, Krag.
My top three priorities are going to be, first of all, collaborating with local small businesses and innovative businesses so that they can locate near the marine terminal and the airport. Second, I would like to expand recreational opportunities by allowing public waterfront access on the Port Peninsula and also to complete the waterfront trail. And finally, I would like to launch the marine habitat restoration to preserve the environmental resources on the port for future generations. It's important to emphasize environmental restoration. We are far, far past the opportunity for stewardship. We lost on that a long time ago. So we have to not steward, but actually restore our environment.
Thank you. Bob?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Number one, it's important to me that we complete the contaminated sediment cleanup in Butt Inlet. That's going to open up opportunities at the Port Peninsula. Number one, it's a preface to the restoration of the marine habitat around the peninsula, and then it also opens it up for responsible development and better public access. The second thing would be the habitat conservation plan that we're working together with the city of Tumwater. Again, the completion of that and approval of that plan will open up the Newmarket Industrial Campus for responsible development and provide for species, endangered species protection. And then the third thing would be to continue and complete the master plan for developing the Port Peninsula. We've just started that, and that will also provide many more opportunities.
Okay, thank you. Please don't hesitate to ask me to repeat the question if need be. I'm happy to do that. Beginning with Anthony, the third question is, one challenge the port is facing is helping the community understand what is the port's function in the community. How would you help educate the community on the port's role?
Well, by encouraging the port to get out and about into the community as well, of not just expecting people to come to Port Commission meetings, but going to where people are. This afternoon, for example, I'm going down to South County to talk to mayors in those cities and get their feedback and input. I think recently the port has made some changes, and they have a much more active and robust communications program than they had previously. They're being more active on social media, as we know. So few people are engaging with the traditional media now that we need to think creatively of reaching people where they are, not where the port is. Ramping up port communications in general would be what I would encourage doing in the future.
Okay. Krag.
So can you repeat the question?
Certainly. One challenge the port is facing is helping the community understand what is the port's function in the community. How would you help educate the community on the port's role?
Okay, so the most important thing is for the port to come out from behind the curtain, you might say. And it's really important that they communicate with the people throughout Thurston County in whatever way possible. And this could be from a website with a dashboard on it that would basically allow the people to log on to it and look at finance, look at projects that are being considered, look at options for the different initiatives that the port is taking. So it's really important that the people learn that they do own the port, because the port is owned by all of Thurston County residents, and not just the people who happen to own yachts or private airplanes or are actually working on the port property. So really increasing communications is the best thing.
All right, well, thank you again for this question. This is actually going to be a preview of my closing statement, but RCW 53.04 charges Washington ports with promoting trade, fostering industry, and creating economic opportunity for the public good. Now, the Port of Olympia, in a recent economic impact study, the port activity supports more than 5,000 jobs, with over 2,600 direct family wage jobs right here in this community. These jobs generate over $132 million in wages, and port operations contribute to nearly $29 million in state and local tax revenue that supports our schools, infrastructure, and public services. The port's strength comes from its diversity. Beyond marine cargo and our Swantown Marina and Boat Works, Olympia Regional Airport, and the Newmarket Industrial Campus, and our real estate properties, we generate hundreds of millions of dollars in economic activity annually. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jerry.
All right, so I believe that the function of the port is important to tell the public. I think that a lot of times it's economic development, and that doesn't really resonate with a lot of citizens. I think that what could resonate with them is to show them all the possibilities, be excited. This is public land. Public land is unique, and it's something that, there isn't enough public land. So when we have public land, we shouldn't just lock it up into tons of industry where public's not really understanding what's going on. So I believe that if you let them know that we can bring tourism into Olympia, if you let them know that there's opportunities for recreation, families, parks, that it's not specifically just about jobs, jobs, jobs. Otherwise, we would just sell public land to the private sector. It's a unique opportunity for us to do more than just jobs, jobs, jobs. And I would like to communicate that by op-eds and being vocal and just being excited about it.
Okay, we will begin with this fourth question with Krag, and that is, the public and private sectors are experiencing pressure from the federal government to eliminate commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion, commonly known as DEI. In light of this, do you think any changes are needed to the port's DEI efforts?
If the simple fact, in terms of having the port change its DEI efforts because of federal edicts or directives, I would say no. I think that in this time and in this place, we really need to double down on the fact that diversity and equity and inclusion, which are what the letters DEI stand for, are really essential in our society and in our culture. It's something that we have made big headway on over the decades, over the centuries that the United States has been in existence. And it's really important that we not lose what we have gained and that we move forwards with recognizing that everybody is a participant, we all are citizens, and we all have a place.
Thank you. Bob?
Great question. From my personal experience as a Nisqually tribal member, several years ago, I started our tribe's TARO department, which is Tribal Employment Rights Office. So I'm extremely aware and have a lot of experience in DEI subjects. And I don't believe that any of us at the port or really any government here in locally has any desire to forego our DEI efforts over the years. And we certainly want to celebrate and acknowledge different cultures and backgrounds and incorporate those in our operations. That being said, we also have an obligation to our community to complete projects that are a benefit. And so some modifications, even temporary modifications, may be necessary down the road.
Okay. Jerry?
All right, well, I'm a big supporter of DEI. I believe that it is essential. It is something that has been proven to bring together communities and build culture. There's definitely no way that, I'll just say I think that the port is doing a great job, and I don't think that there's anything necessarily needed to change. I'm a special education teacher, so I know how important it is. I'm a father of children who are queer, and I know that there's a lot of stigma and a lot of, sometimes a lot of hate out in the media, and I'll just be very vocal. I'm absolutely no. I'm not going to let any efforts to remove it at the port proceed. And I think just being vocal and being passionate and standing up for what we believe, which I'm sure we all believe, will benefit the community.
Thank you,
Yes,
Anthony.
on DEI and the port, first off, I think DEI programs can be very helpful. In my day job, I'm a public policy and economic development consultant, and a few years ago, for one of my clients, was able to get a substantial tranche of funds for training and recruiting or diversifying the workforce for a consortium of 15 fire districts up in King County. And that has helped significantly in diversifying their workforce. The Port of Olympia should continue diversifying its workforce as well, and that there certainly is strength through diversity. In the past, again, working in international business and with the World Trade Center, I've worked with a wide variety of different cultures and people, and we should not be changing our DEI policies.
Beginning with Bob, the final question is, how can the port incorporate climate and environmental issues in their decisions regarding development of port property?
Well, we are actively involved in the, for example, the sea level rise collaborative with the City of Olympia and others. So we are a part of that planning process for the downtown Olympia area. So when we are looking at the Port Peninsula and even the environmental cleanup process for Budd Inlet, we can incorporate all of those things into planning for the eventuality of sea level rise and the climate change, so that when we do develop these properties, we are prepared for what's coming our way over the next 50 years or so, because we don't want to go into it blindly. We want to make sure that we do the proper engineering and the proper planning and prepare those sites for that eventuality.
All right, and I think that every single decision the port makes needs to consider what this leaves for future generations. What's this going to be 75 years down the line? Just 50, 90 years ago, we had so much pollution from port activities that it's not safe to swim in the Budd Inlet today. So any development needs extensive scrutiny in order to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Even if it results in short-term gains, we need to look at the longer picture. So I would bring in experts, and I would decide based on consensus whether a development is going to make things worse down the road.
You know, for climate, certainly the Port of Olympia should be a leader not just in economic development, but in sustainable economic development, and in looking for ways where we can be real climate leaders. One way is electrification, and we have lots of opportunities to put in solar panels under flight paths at the airport. We should be electrifying so that ships that tie up at our marina are not burning using their diesel engines, but instead are plugged in to shoreside electricity. Also, we should be learning by what's being done elsewhere with sponge cities have had a huge impact in other parts of the world, and we should take some of those learnings to make sure that we can combat sea level rise here in Olympia and Thurston County as well.
Okay, thank you, Krag.
So when you talk about the effects that climate change is going to have on the Port of Olympia, I'm going to talk about sea level rise and storm events. Because as the climate changes, we are seeing much more intense storm events, which includes the wind, it includes the rainfall, it includes other factors. So, and also the whole thing with the warming of the waters in the inlet. It's really important that the port be environmentally responsible. And it's also really important to recognize that this cannot be done by the port alone. It has to be coordinated with other local jurisdictions, with local stakeholders, with the tribes, with labor unions and businesses. And so that's the thing which I'm going to bring is the intergovernmental coordination, the working with diverse interests and pulling it all together so that we can effectively address climate change.
Thank you all. You now have 1 minute for a closing statement, and we will start with Jerry.
All right, well, thank you again. I think I really respect the work that the League of Women Voters does. I am a regular citizen that just decided to jump in, and it's been scary. It's been fun. I'm introverted, and it's not something that I do that's natural to me. But I really believe in a few things. I really want to represent the rural communities. Right now, they pay taxes to the port through property taxes. Overall, the port receives over $8 million a year, and I don't believe that the rural communities are getting enough. In my community of Iyall, we have over $300,000 in property taxes collected, and we get a $10,000 grant back. So I really want to stand up for the rural communities. I really want to stand up for, again, people who don't have the resources that others do. The port should be providing a lot more activities, should be providing more academic development for small businesses, and really go throughout the county to make a bigger difference to all constituents.
Thank you, Tani, and thank all of you for watching. You have a very clear choice in this election, and I ask for your support and vote. I'm the only candidate who has substantial government, private sector, and economic development experience. People who know the port well and know what it needs to thrive are the ones who encouraged me to run and have endorsed my campaign. Pretty much every group that has looked at this race has endorsed Hemstad for port. This includes business groups, labor unions, environmental organizations, and prominent Democrats and Republicans, including people like Marilyn Strickland and Adam Smith, J.T. Wilcox, Kim Wyman. Notably, all 5 of the current port commissioners have endorsed me, and they all had competitive elections, and the 5 people who ran against them have endorsed me as well. If you want a commissioner with experience and a successful track record in creating family wage jobs, I'm your candidate. Please vote Hemstad for Port and go to my website, hemstadforport.com, for more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Krag?
So one of the things that I've learned during my life, and partly it was from listening to my mother, when she would say, you have to listen. You have to listen so that you understand. And that is exactly what I believe that I'm going to bring to the Port of Olympia, is the willingness to listen, particularly listening to people that you don't agree with or who don't agree with you, with the port. Listening to people you disagree with is the only way to establish common ground. And it is upon that common ground that we can build a bridge that's going to move us forward into the future together. And that is what I'm going to do when I am elected to the Port of Olympia. So please support my candidacy for Port of Olympia. Thank you.
Okay, Bob?
All right, thank you. Thank you again to the League of Women Voters. And I mentioned the RCW that charges the ports with their purpose. The Port of Olympia delivers on that mission by supporting thousands of jobs, generating $500 million in local economic impact, and strengthening the tax base for our state and local governments. Looking forward, my priorities are to complete the Bud Inlet cleanup, finalize the habitat conservation plan, and bring the destination waterfront to life as a vibrant community hub. We'll continue to improve financial transparency and keep working with labor, business, tribes, and the neighborhoods. The port is both an engine of economic vitality and a steward for our environment. And I ask for your support to continue this balanced, forward-looking work. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to the 4 of you for participating in this candidate forum. We thank our partner, TC Media, for producing and airing it. We are indebted to TC Media for years of making these forums happen and educating the voters. TC Media is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making media production accessible to all. They are committed to providing our community with access to professional media production, education, and content creation resources. Your support helps provide studio space, equipment, and education for creators in our community. To donate to TC Media's work or to become a member, visit www.tcmedia.org. We are also incredibly thankful to the NAACP of Thurston County for sponsoring this forum. We encourage our viewers to be a voter in the upcoming election on November 4, 2025. Every vote counts. Ballots for military personnel were mailed on September 21st, and all other ballots will be available on October 15th. You may register to vote right up to Election Day. Thank you for watching this 2025 Candidate Forum.